Good evening, folks. Let's turn your mic on. Hope everybody is doing awesome today. How many people we got here tonight? Not many. 9? Oh, Divine 9. The 3 Doors, Heather's iPhone, Radhika, Chelsea, Laura, Wendy, Bernie's iPhone. How's everybody doing today? Tonight, depending where you are, I guess. So anybody got some something they want to share? Or am I going to just ramble on? Cheers, everybody. Oh, Gabriel's is on. Some Divine wine. Once a week, have a nice shot. How many people are making some Divine wine? Nobody? I know Gabrielis was playing around with it a bit. A few others.
What is Divine wine?
What is Divine wine? You get yourself some good quality red wine, dark red wine, and you infuse it with herbs. You know, you get it in a big jar, you put a bunch of herbs, and you let it sit in the sun for 30 days. Shake it every day. And after 30 days, you put it in the shade in the dark spot for 15 days. Strain it all out, squeeze out all the herbs, and it's ready to drink. But you don't use it as a social thing. You just take small amounts. It's medicine. It's not for drinking, but it tastes divine. And I put a lot of fresh herbs in it. Anything. I just grab whatever herbs I can grab. You can grab some at the grocery stores, like celery. I put like whole lemons with the peel and everything, parsley, cilantro, ginger, and then whatever wild herbs I go pick, I just throw it all in there.
So you're using fresh herbs?
I like fresh, but you can use dry as well. I put also some dry, like some seeds and stuff, whatever you have. But I find the more fresh you put, the better it comes out.
Okay.
Even for making tinctures, if you can get fresh, by all means, use fresh for making your tinctures, because this is basically a tincture. Instead of using strong alcohol, we're using wine, which has alcohol in it. So you can do all kinds of things for herbal tinctures. You can use also vinegar, apple cider vinegar. People are using, what's it called, glycerin. I'm not a fan of glycerin, but because it's got a short shelf life, 4 to 6 months, like our tinctures are good for infinite. There's no shelf life. The way we make them, you can leave them for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. They'll never go bad. So it all depends on what you use, how you make it. Will make a difference in the quality and the outcome and the shelf life for your herbal tinctures. Most of the stuff on the shelves so watered down, you're just buying water, so it doesn't really matter. And best is make your own or buy from somebody that that's making a good quality tincture. There's very few companies that are making good quality and not watering it down. Very few. Very, very
When you do with vinegar, do you use apple cider vinegar, or what kind of vinegar do you use?
Yeah, apple cider would be a better choice. I don't know what other type of vinegars you can use. I think apple would probably be the better one out of all of them. There's so many different types of vinegar, but that one there is usually related to being. We use mostly for health issues is the apple cider, not all the other ones.
Coconut vinegar is also a good choice. Coconut vinegar.
Coconut vinegar, that's another one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's also yeah, rice vinegars, and there's so many different ones. Balsamic is which is made from grape, or red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar. There's then you have the white vinegar they sell, whatever that's made from, vegetables or something. I don't even know what it's made from. So, but I think if you're going to use it for tincture purposes, the apple, I'm not sure how effective making tinctures is with vinegars. I think you'll get some good properties out of it. Comparing to alcohol, alcohol for me is my favorite because it's spirit. I've discussed that before. Alcohol is also known as spirit, and that's the purpose for alcohol. It's not made to be drinking to get drunk. It's made for us to make tinctures so we can make great medicines. That's the purpose of alcohol.
Well, I want to share that I received your herbs today, and so I'm going to add that to the protocol. And I started 10 days ago, and I started with raspberry. So I have a lot of raspberries on my freezer, so I start with raspberry.
Raspberry juice?
Raspberry juice.
Wow.
And
You juice your own?
yeah. I use my own, and so this is kind of fresh because they were frozen, and same results. A lot of mucoid plaque coming out.
Did you cook it?
No, I did not cook it. I just press it and drink it.
Yeah, you're not going to get the power from raw juices.
But it's coming out. A lot of black plaque is coming out.
You'll get some results with raw juices, but we've all come from, most of us has come from the raw juice fast world. For many years, some of us. There's absolutely no comparison when you open up the structure through cooking, and we bring it to a higher order. There's just no comparison to raw juices for cleansing purposes. When we eat, we go for raw.
How we'll cook it then?
Yeah, just boil.
You boil it for 9 minutes.
Okay.
Let it cool and add your lemon, and you'll see the difference. Somebody a few months ago was trying watermelon, and then we never heard back, but they said they were getting good results with cooked watermelon juice. They were juicing it and cooking it. So there's, I believe we can have be able to find different fruit from every different country, continent that we'll be able to use on Master Fast. The grapes are, found pretty much everywhere, and it's such a powerful fruit. Most people gravitate towards that, but it's not the only thing we can use. We can use pomegranate, we can use berries, we can use cherry, black cherry. We can use, what else is there?
How about blueberries?
Yeah, sure. They're dark berries, of course, blackberry, blueberries. The only thing about those is they're very expensive if you're buying the juice. If you have them and you're growing in abundance, sure, use them.
Yeah, I have them. That's why.
But most people are not going to want to go and buy their fruits and bring them home and juice them. All that extra work is really not worth it. But if you have an abundance, go for it.
I do.
Some people have vineyards or whatever, juice it all and boil it. People think that you're going to kill it and everything. They don't know what they're talking about. We've showed it with results. There's no comparison with raw juices and cooked juices. There's just nothing. It's as far away as night and day. I don't care what people say. We show by results. So just read what people are doing. We're seeing miracles happening almost every day now with people on Master Fast. And it's not from raw juices. Like I said, we've all come from those days. I've done raw foods for many, many, many years. I wouldn't touch anything cooked, and I was in the belief of raw is law, just like a lot of us were. For eating, we want raw as much as we can. For cleansing, we go all cooked. We go cooked juice, cooked tea. We use charcoals cooked, and we dry fast, which is cooked. And there's nothing that even comes close to cleansing at these protocols that we're doing. It's just you have to understand what's happening when we cook. It's not killing. You can't kill or destroy energy. You can only transform it. So we're transforming it into a higher order. That's what we do when we cook. And the reason people are addicted to cooked food is because of these high energy packets cooked food produces and reduces your digestive workload, so-called, when you're doing cooked food. But the problem with eating cooked foods is the residues. So the way we use cooked is in a form where what we're doing when we make herbal teas. Herbal teas work. Why do they work? Because we're using the energy of the herbs. We're not consuming the fiber. That's the difference. So we're boiling it, we're straining it, we're just using the energy of the herbs that was infused in the water through the heat cycle. So, you know, what we found with fruit juices, when we cook them, they don't leave residues like the vegetable kingdom or any other cooked food, the dairy or the meats and grains and all that. Those things leave so much residue, but I believe because our matter state physical design is a frugivore for some people. That's you know, if we're going to be eating food, it should be mainly fruit. So even when we cook it, it doesn't seem to leave any residues from what we're seeing, and it actually is a huge benefit in aiding us for cleansing purposes, especially in human bodies today that are not anywhere near being natural. They're full of toxins, chemicals that the body can't even recognize. So this is what really helps us remove all that crap. And it's very powerful when you're doing it with the cooked juices. That's why we don't condone, support, or recommend anybody doing this fast just with the juice. It's too powerful in releasing toxins. And if you don't use any aids with herbal support and the pudding that we use and so on and so forth, you're asking for problems. It's such cheap insurance, and the effects and the benefits are far outweighed when you're using all these things the way we designed it, instead of leaving them out because you believe it's too expensive or whatever. It's furthest thing from the truth. Master Fast, you can ask many people, it's much cheaper than eating for most people. Some countries it may be more expensive because of the ridiculous costs they have on juices or whatever else, but in general, there's just absolutely no comparison. Well, people keep commenting on it's too expensive and all that. I'm getting kind of tired of answering that question. Just people aren't ready for healing. That's all it comes down to. People are spending money eating, and you know, you just go out to a restaurant, one meal, it's going to cost you more than a few days on Master Fast. It's just a ridiculous comment, and people keep commenting on it. What do you want? What do you want out of life? How bad do you want to get healthy? Will you do whatever it takes? No matter how long it takes, no matter what? These are the questions only you can answer when you're making a choice to move to a healthy lifestyle, because nobody can do it for you. If we could, we would. We'd snap our fingers and heal you. But you know, those are not impossibilities. They're happening. But health needs to be a responsibility for yourself, and you need to make the choices of educating yourself so you understand what to do, so you don't need anybody. And that's the key. This is why, you know, also people keep asking the questions that are already all answered in the information we provide freely. You know, and they get upset when I say go read all the files and watch the videos. I don't see the difference in me rewriting it personally for them, and then them going in the files and reading it there, which is the work's already done. They believe their time is more valuable than mine, that I have to redo it for them personally. It's pretty annoying when I get these questions over and over. And the reason I'm talking about it, because it happens over and over and over. And I can spend my time much more efficiently helping people who really need it that are sick. That's where I like to spend my time. I put a lot of time preparing all that information, and it's summed up in of my 26 plus years of my experiences and from all my great teachers that I've learned from, and I continue to learn from. I continue to educate myself pretty much daily on things to do with health and plasma. So we all need to take responsibility. This is the key in how we're going to solve our issues. We can't rely on somebody else doing it. You know, if somebody's in a wheelchair, whatever, they're immobile, that's a different story. They're gonna need some help, but the decision always has to be the person who wants to get healthy. You know, let's take responsibility, guys, and let's take the workload off some of the admins because there's search bars. There's a search section inside the Facebook. Most of the questions have been answered many times, also in the board, and also there's all the files. There's a lot of files in there, lot of useful files. But first, I suggest everybody read the ones named Master Fast. Read all those first. There's one named Water. Read that one. There's one named Kesh, Living on Light. Read that one. There's another one, a short one I wrote many years ago. I believe it's called Download Reading. That's very interesting if you want to understand memory of water, how powerful that is. One drop of water can hold approximately 300,000 years of playing different DVDs. The memory of 300,000. One drop of water. So basically, it's infinite. That's what it's telling you. And when you put water in a GAN state, which our body's made out of, it's not water. It's infinite. The information that we can hold within the structure of GAN's material, gas and nano state, is absolutely infinite, like the sun. The sun doesn't wear out. It keeps producing its energy. It's just continuous. It's a continuous gravitational magnetic field that is interacting with the Earth and the other planets and continuously feeding off each other. This is how they find balance and produce the atmosphere and everything else that I've discussed. But there's lots to learn for all of us. We're going to learn more and more as we go along, and more people share their experience with the Master Fast and with the things we're doing. We've made changes over the last couple of years, improving things here and there. As we've learned, I learned from everybody. I see things happening a little different in other people, and that's why it's crucial that we all share on the board, on the videos of your experiences, because your one little statement that you experience, one little thing, can help many people with a similar thing. And if I see something happening in a certain way from a few people, I can make, usually I make adjustments on MasterFast to help improve it and make it more efficient, which I've done from the last couple of years by people sharing. So this is the purpose of why we have the board, to learn from each other, and the support system is crucial. We have a fantastic support system, one of the best probably on the internet right now with MasterFast's Facebook page. There's a lot of people who refuse to join Facebook, and they've joined Facebook only to come on MasterFast. That's all they use it for. It's a tool. You don't have to be fearful of it. People are, if you're on the internet, they can watch anything and everything you do, whether you're using Facebook or not. So you can choose to live in fear or use the knowledge as power. Once you have the knowledge, you don't have to be fearful of anything, because you understand that with the knowledge that you have, what your capabilities of doing things are, which is infinite. There's no limit to anything. We can do whatever we choose if we put our intent and emotion into it and set our heart in that motion. Everything's possible, folks. Everything's possible. Just look what's happening with all the miracles of people on Master Fast these past couple of years. It's pretty much amazing what's going on. It's just, that's the only thing that keeps me going is people's stories. It's amazing watching people take charge of themselves. It's absolutely amazing. We have some superheroes. Gabrielis is one of them. If you guys know his story, he's an ex-paralyzed man walking and swimming again. We have Marin, and we have many other superheroes that have come such a long way, and on their way to completely recovering and healing. As we keep talking about, 108 days is a very special number. It's a great start. Is it going to solve all your issues? No, but it's a great start. It's a great start. Many years of abusing our bodies, our temple, it's not going to happen in a few months. But we're seeing things, unbalanced bodies. I don't even like to use the word disease anymore, but we're seeing the body turning things around faster than I've ever seen it with any other type of healing modalities out there. It's incredible what the body can do when you put when you change the environment and cleanse it and put it in a state where it can do its work properly. That's all we're doing. We're cleaning the temple of all its obstructions. The obstructions are the things that are holding you from accessing the blueprint. Think about it that way, in the ether. Because every one of us, I keep talking about it, has a perfect blueprint of our physicality body in the ether. Even if we're not born perfect, even if we're full of genetic defects, there's still a blueprint that is perfect. And you can't access it eating, folks. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. You need to fast. All animals do it. Bears do it for 7.5 months, approximately every year. And many other species, every species does it if they're injured or sick. There's a lot of animals that hibernate. Bear's one of them. What's the other ones? I can't remember. There's a few of them that actually hibernate. I'm not the one to answer all those questions, but it's fascinating how, the bear can go in and hibernate for all those months and just sleeping away. It's pretty miraculous. And when it wakes up, it's in a much, much healthier state than when it went in. There's, I can't remember if it was the Eskimos or it's in Philnov's book, if somebody remembers, it's a delicacy if they actually can get a bear coming out of hibernation, kill it and eat its flesh. It's a delicacy for them. It's so sweet, they say. Do we want to go that route? No, but I'm just showing and explaining that what happens through that fast. Poor thing, hibernating all those years, and then they go and eat it. But I'm just showing you that the body purifies itself and cleanses itself in a state where it can't do while you're eating. No matter, even if you're eating your species-specific food, you can't reach levels of going and accessing that blueprint. You're going to just reach a level where you'll plateau and you won't seem to benefit anymore. Like I had a concussion about a month ago, and I was eating, and had this horrific vertigo, and it couldn't solve it until I did my 6.5 day dry fast, and I had to break it because my vertigo. I woke up in the middle of the night, got crazy. I talked about it before, but once I broke it, and I broke it for 2 days, and then I did another 4 days. Vertigo completely gone. Everything's completely back to normal. I'm back in my martial arts classes. I just came back not too long ago. So this is the levels where you go. You're not gonna be able to heal things. And if you've had any issues in the past, 10, 20, 30 years ago, like an injury or something, and you were eating, you believe you've solved it, you may be surprised when you get on a master fast that it comes up to be resurfaced to be healed properly because it's not healed properly. A lot of people have experienced these things. So this is what we're talking about when we using a very expanded level of healing, going places where very, very few people will ever go. Number one, they don't choose to go these routes because they don't want to heal. Subconsciously, people are happy being miserable and sick. Just look around us. We see it everywhere. People starts, almost every single person that's been on a long master fast has had issues where people comment on how thin they are. I think almost everybody's went through this. I've gone through it, and I've been fasting for years. And they still had people commenting, and people see me fasting for years. Because you lose a little extra weight, and they're going, in their mind, they're thinking you're sick because they don't have an understanding and they don't have the knowledge. So, this is where you raise, where you expand your field strength and try and help balance out what they're feeling because it's just a lack of ignorance through a misunderstanding. They just don't know what's happening. And that's what most people out there, they even in the health alternative, they call it alternative, but it's not alternative healing naturally, let's call that. There's so much ignorance. They just don't have an understanding what the body needs to do to heal. And this is where we've opened the doors and are showing people, guys, you don't need to do anything. Dry fast. Dry fast. And let the body do its magic. That's how easy it is. The only problem is we're so polluted with foreign materials that are not natural. Just doing dry fasting and believe you're going to solve it without cleaning out the temple first, it's not going to happen because there's people doing it and they're not doing the magic healing that's going on in massive fast. And it's the issue of cleaning that GI tract. This is the big key, where you're going to be able to take your healing to as vast as the stars when you dry fast with a clean GI tract. Talk to people who have done 60, 80, 90, 108 days or more. And look at the magic of what they've experienced, not only physically, mentally, emotionally. Emotion's the key. Emotion trumps all. So this is where people are challenged with emotions coming up. They don't know what to do. You need to focus and allow it to happen and just embrace. When all these weird emotions come up, you're going to have to just know and embrace them. Use enemas. Enemas will help release emotions. Believe it or not, folks, I see so many times that people, they have issues. They're anal about enemas. They don't want to do enemas. You don't have to do it. I wrote it down that you need to do enemas if you're not having at least one bowel movement a day, because a lot of people don't like doing enemas. But I keep repeating, if you do enemas every day, it's only going to help you and benefit you and make your fast much more efficient and make it easier on you. So do them every day. Do them every day. Get colonics once a week if you can afford it. Buy a Colima board, much more effective than just an enema bag. Enema bag, to do 5 gallons with an enema bag, it's going to take you hours. With the Colima board, 5-gallon bucket, you'll be able to do in about 40, 45 minutes, hour max. So you're putting that water, you just think about, you're just washing. That's all we're doing, is washing all the things, the toxins, the acids the chemicals, the emotions that the fast has loosened up, and we wash it for them to be released out of the colon. That's what the enema and the colonics and the colon boards are for. People are putting all the focus on, what did you use in your enema? They believe that what you use in the enema is going to do all the work for you. Folks, it's not what you use in the enema. Yes, they will aid you, and that's why we use them, because I'm not a fan of plain water. I always add something to the water, whether it's baking soda, which is great if you have diarrhea or lots of acid you're releasing. Teas. Any herbal teas, they're all astringent, they're going to help you. The grape and lemon. If you haven't tried a grape and lemon enema, I challenge you to try that. It's powerful. Just like it's powerful drinking, it's powerful doing the enema. You can dilute it half and half, you can do it straight, whatever. Maybe do some water first, get some loose stuff, then do that. Put the grape and lemon and hold it in as long as you can. Powerful, powerful enema. And grasses, wheatgrass, barley grass, wild grass, juice them, dilute it with water, enema. That's the way we should be doing grasses. Forget about drinking it. It's much better doing it that way than putting it through digestion, I've found over the years. So this is why we do these things, to wash. If you are eating and you're doing all these enemas with all the different herbs and the grasses and the turpentine and whatever, you're not going to get much releases. You're going to get some, but you're not going to be able to heal at the cellular level. Only fasting does that. Only fasting does that. Herbs, they will help up to a point, but when you're digesting, you're diluting the work of the herbs because they're being used more as foods than they are as medicines. This is the key, the master key where everybody's missing with herbs. You fast and you take herbs. Their herbs are at a whole different level of their efficiency. Whole different level. Night and day. Night and day. That's why we're seeing magic. It's all part of Master Fast. All these things we're doing them all for reasons. They're all part of Master Fast for specific reasons, and they're all very important. And you leave anything out, you're going to be getting less results than you would if you're using everything we suggest. It's that simple. It's a simple system. It's not rocket science. You know, we have a dry fasting window every day. You know, I'm hearing people fainting and all that. Folks, you got to be very, very careful if you're a novice at fasting. Even if you've only been fasting for a year or something, at these levels, Master Fast, it digs very deep. And when you're fasting, people will get discouraged because they start getting dizzy. And if they faint and so on, and they feel really weak, has nothing to do with you not getting in food in your body. You need to understand this. When you're fasting, you're stirring up cesspool. Most of us are a living cesspool. Believe it or not, we're a living cesspool. When you fast, you're stirring up the cesspool. That's why we're using all the tools to help pull all that stuff out of us and keep the organs opened up and moving. So when you're stirring all this stuff up, it's putting a lot of stresses on the whole system to focus on cleansing and dumping. And all that energy is being put on that to allow the body to heal. So, you know, if you get up quickly, you're going to get lightheaded and you may faint. You know, we just had somebody the other day. So you need to be calm when you're getting out of bed. Sit up on your bed slowly. Do some breath work. Stay focused. Feel yourself grounded. Get up slowly. You know, do some breath work. Look around. Make sure everything is okay before you start moving around. This is how you practice fasting at the beginning. when I started fasting, these dizzy things, it happened to me a lot. It doesn't happen very often now, almost never really. And if it does, it's very, very little for me, even if I do very long fasts, dry fasts or whatever. But this only happens when you've been practicing for a long time. I see people wanting to push these dry fasts and everything. You know, you're not doing yourself a favor, believe me. You're going to only hinder yourself and cause yourself more issues. So remember, folks, when you're fasting, unmastered fast, dry fasting, whatever, get up slowly, even from a chair, from bed, whatever. When you're moving around from a standstill position, do it slowly. And do lots of enemas if you're getting these dizzy things, these dizzy spells. They can only help you. Because you've loosened up crap, it's in the circulation, we want it out, and you're going to feel better. Sometimes it may take a day or two, but this is very, very crucial that people understand this. A lot of people get very fearful when they feel this, and they need to understand it. If you read Arnold Ehret's books, Nutritionist Diet, Healing System, and Rational Fasting, he talks about this in there, exactly what I mentioned. People lose all their faith because they have misunderstanding. There's ignorance of what fasting is and what's happening during a fast. So I want to make that really, really clear about this, because I don't want to hear people fainting and falling and cracking their heads open. We've had a few already. It's not pleasant. You don't want this to happen. You need to understand this, and again, probably put it in the website. Have to make it very, very clear when you're doing a fast of any sort, because at any time you can get these dizzy spells, whatever. So. And the other thing I was talking about, I'm watching people jumping in the master fast and wanting to push their dry fasting without any dry fasting or any fasting experience. Some people, you're gonna hurt yourselves. You're gonna hurt yourselves. Most people are dehydrated 25-30% at the cellular level. That's huge, huge. And why do we know this? Well, most people, when they go on vacation, a tropical island or something where it's warm, there's a lot of cases of severe dehydration happening because they're not used to that weather, and they go to these places and the body is under extra stress that they're not used to, and they get into a dehydrated state because they already are in a dehydrated state. Somebody's sharing their screen. So you need to understand, being in a dehydrated state, we're going to get to a hydrated state by dry fasting. That's the key. But you need to do this with prudence, with wisdom. Slow, steady, consistent, persistent. Over weeks, months, years, folks, before you can turn a body from dehydrated state to cellularly hydrated state. It's not going to happen in 108 days for most people. Will you improve? Of course you're going to improve. This is why we're doing it. So it's going to take a few years for most people. The older you are, the more it's going to take. So we have a range of dry fasting schedule on the dry fasting for the days, for the week, for the month, and for the season change. There's a range I put. 12 hours is where we start. When you don't have any experience dry fasting, and especially if you're coming from a SAD diet. Start on 12 hours, 14 max. Anybody should be able to start on 12 to 14 hours, even from a SAD diet. And you're going to stay with that for a while. And at the end of the week, we shoot for a 24-hour. It's a range. I have the daily range from 12 to 20 hours. The weekly range is from 24 to 48 hours. Now, novice start at 24 hours. I see some people wanting 2-3 days a week. You're going to put yourself in states where you're not going to be able to finish 108 days. You're going to put yourself in probably dangerous states of dehydration. You're going to not feel well, because the body's doing so much work. It's way too much work at removing all these toxins all at once. It's too much. So every week, 24 hours is where you start. And you stay that for weeks, maybe months. You know, I fasted for many years. I started 24 hours. I moved to 36 hours pretty quick on my weekly. My dailies, I went from, I started because of 14, 16 hours, moved up quickly to 18 hours. I was okay with it. But I've been fasting all different types for 26 years. And I've been eating clean for a long time. So at the end of the month, we have a 3-day. The 3-day, which is what, 72 hours, is highly recommended people push that one time a month for 3 days. Some people are not going to be able to do it. We've had people that can pass 24, 36 hours. But this is why, you know, we have these ranges. But we really want to try and push for that 3 days each month because there's reasons for that. We're doing a laxed cascade effect on the master fast. And I've explained it, going to wet and dry, wet and dry, wet and dry, wet and dry, wet and dry with your organs like sponges. We're washing our sponges. That's what we're doing. So the once a month, we want to go a little extra drier than our daily and weekly to squeeze that little extra. And that little extra squeeze, folks, is going to allow the body to heal, cleanse and heal much better. That's why we have 3 days a month. And then the season change. If you're doing 108 days, you're going to go through a season change. We recommend, you know, that people try and push, you know, a little more than 3 days. And if you've never done these 3 days, you know, try and do 3 days. Forget about going to 5 days. And, you know, if you don't have any experience, you probably want to be under supervision because you're not going to understand the sensations and things that are going on unless you have experience fasting. And the only way you're going to get used to all this is through fasting and experience it. That's why we keep saying push beyond your comfort zones safely. So when something comes up, feeling in your heart, palpitations or anything, you know, breathe, use all the tools we suggest. Try and push, even though you're uncomfortable, try and push hours or an extra day. Sometimes they pass. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they feel like they're getting a little worse, but the body's doing a lot of work. That's all that's happening. So, you know, if you're feeling too uncomfortable, you know, you break it. So the next time you go and you reach that level of feeling, you're going to understand what's going on. And it ain't going to freak you out as much. And you can push that little extra. This is how we use wisdom and prudence with fasting. And how we're going to be able to get much better results than trying to push ourselves where we just crash and burn and actually do damage because then people, they go back to doing whatever and they break it wrong and so on and so forth. This is why these things happen. People are pushing too much. People are pushing way too much. That's what's happening. This is what I see. So if you follow the system and you start off on the low ends of the ranges, you're going to avoid these things. And this is, you know, we want people to succeed, and we don't want people to break down and cause problems, more problems than they already have, and so on and so forth. So, you know, be wise, folks. Be really wise. It's we have a little bit more wisdom than the animals in some degree, but much stupider in other degrees than the wildlife, because we have free will and we have a mind, and that's the problem, the mind.
Hey, Gino.
Yeah.
It's Matt. Hey, I know my video is bad from the upload, but I have a question about scalar energy And I've been watching Ken Rolla. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, he's saying that basically you could build these pyramids to counteract the chemtrails and stuff like that. And I was just wondering what your input is on that, and if you could actually tell me your expertise on that, because scalar energy, he keeps saying that, you know, we could do these pyramids and then you could counteract the pyramids. And I was just wondering if you could actually integrate the plasma that the technology that you talk about from the plasma into the pyramid, so that you could actually counteract the chemtrails. That's all I got. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm no expert in anything, but scalar energy, there's many different names of all these different energies and so on and so forth. Depends who discovered them. They've all used their own names. We're all talking about the same forces, whether it's prana, whether it's chi in Chinese, whether it's ki in Japanese. Prana is a Sanskrit. You know, plasma. It's all plasma. It's all plasma related. Gravitational magnetic field strength. And with scalar waves, you're going into what's the word I'm looking for?
Okay, look. You remember one time when you was on video and you told me that, or you told everyone, you said that whenever you said that basically, if we weren't here, that basically that it's all field interactions. It's all field interactions, even the thoughts and everything. We don't have to speak language.
Yep.
Yeah. So can you just reiterate on that?
When you're tapping into these fields that are always in motion, there's nothing stagnant in the universe. You just need to tap into them. How do we tap into them? We tap into them with intent and emotion. That's how you interact, tap in, and change and create. So by calling it a scalar wave, you're riding in on these instantaneous fields, because there's no time space when you tap into these. Think about when you're dreaming. You can be anywhere you want at the instant you think about it. That's what I'm talking about. That's plasma. You're instantly there. There's no time space. You think you're there. This is how plasma works, interacting with each other. So when you ride these waves, so to speak, you're tapping into a certain field strength, a certain fingerprint, because each thought, each matter, each thing, each energy has a fingerprint, you can call it, of a field strength of plasma, a certain gravitational magnetic field strength. Each element also has a certain gravitational magnetic field strength. Well, all the science mainstream that we look at now only looks at the matter state, and that's the problem. That's the whole problem. They're looking at things in the physicality with blinders on. They're not looking at the whole universe. They're looking at us through a small window of what's happening. Chemistry, it's another fraud. We add to the knowledge. We have to open it up. It's very limited. When people are talking chemistry, it's very limited. There's so much more going on in plasmatic state than there is in the chemistry of what we know is chemistry. This is why, when we're talking about the body's acid and alkaline, it's very limited view, very limited. So Matthew, to answer your question, there's people using William Reich or Reifs, the guy who did the orgone. There's people doing with the orgone. They're dissipating chemtrails. There's people using certain frequencies. There's people doing it with their mind, because we are plasma. You don't need the matter state. This is what we need to come to an understanding, that everything that we believe we need just hinders us and limits our belief system, because we've been all programmed that we need all this stuff, including food. We all believe we need food. That's why we still eat. But in reality of creation, we don't need food. The sun, does the sun eat? It continuously feeding this planet and other planets interacting with for thousands and millions and billions of years.
All right, so yeah, I mean to cut you off, but yeah. So basically, that there is no way to actually do GANs. GANs. There's no way to integrate the GANs into the pyramid. It's false. All right.
There's no
it's all material. It's all material.
Listen, the GANs is special because it's in a semi-matter state. It's half matter, half plasma. Whereas, our body is in a similar situation, but the GANs materials are in a unique state. And for example, if you pick up a rock versus a GANs material that we've converted, they're in different states. The rock is more in a matter state, very low matter state, very dense. The GANs is in a more expanded state, and we can do wonderful things with it. It's only limited to your imagination. There is no right or wrong of what you can do with these materials. It's only limited to your imagination. And people are continuously adding to the knowledge of what we can do with these materials. So you got to just expand and try many different things. Whatever comes to your mind, do it, because it's coming to your mind for a reason. Don't ask is if it's correct or not. Do them. Try them. Experiment them. GANs materials, nanomaterials, will protect you from radiation, so on and so forth. It will clean them out of your body. You sit in a bathtub with a jar full of CO2, GANs, you put it in the bathtub, you sit in that bathtub, if you're full of radiation, the radiation will be pulled and completely converted and eliminated from the body. You do this over days, you'll have no more radiation in your body. These tests have already been done. And there's so many other things you can do with these. We can use them for healing. We can use them for so on and so forth. And we're doing it within Master Fast to a certain degree by us cooking the juice, bringing it to a higher order. It's in a stronger GAN state. That's why it's a powerful cleanser. And why people have so much energy being on Master Fast. It's cooked juice. It's dead in everybody else's eyes. But, why are we able to go, months and months on this system? Because you're getting all the energy your body needs. And the longer you go, the less you'll need. You'll find that. Listen to what people talk about. They started drinking 2-3 liters. Some people can't even barely drink a liter a day after weeks or a few months. They don't need it. The body don't need it anymore because you've eliminated the obstructions, and all the field interactions within the body are clear now, and your energy level goes way up when the obstructions are eliminated. It's like, the sun, we're continuously getting energy from that. But folks, the energy fields at night are way stronger on the earth than they are during the day and night. If you can tap into the energy at night, go barefoot walking at night, go barefoot walking in the sun in the day, and try both for several weeks and see where you get more energy. The night's way more powerful. Way more powerful. The subtle energy.
Hey, Gino. Hey, I was going to ask you one more question. About the 432.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that this dude is on the roll, basically, on the about the pyramids? And I'm thinking maybe you said no, don't worry about it. It's a matter of state. What about charging the pyramids at 432?
The Giza, a lot of the pyramids are based on 432 9-base math. We did this research many, many years ago. So they're already in that frequency range. The 432 is the number of creation. 9 is divine. Adds up to 9. 4 + 3 + 2. It's the number of how creation actually comes to be. That's the number that's used. There's no coincidence here that 9 always comes back to itself. And it's in the equation of the diameters of the Earth, the planets, the distance between each other. It's all based on the 432 9-base math. Does it? Yeah, well, the speed of light is
when you add
the speed of light is not the fastest. Actually, sound is faster than the speed of light. We've proved that through experiments we've done with the my little reactor I've shown in the Christmas and New Year's. We can instantaneously change things at any given point with no time space. And so the speed of light is much slower than sound. We're using sound frequency for that in 432 range, because 432 hertz is a what's it called, wave carrier. It'll carry anything you put into it, even your thoughts, because it's all plasma at the end of the day anyway. So yeah, Matthew, you can make these pyramids. Sure, put GANS material, wrap in GANS material, put GANS material in them, use nanomaterial, nano coat the copper, use it all, whatever comes to your mind. They're only going to help. They're not going to take away. There's people that are getting liquid plasma, which is the water that's energized. Can you go get a jar? The water that's energized from your GANS material, whether it's a CO2, zinc oxide, CH3, iron oxide, what's the other? CuO, copper oxide. You can make GANS material from anything. So what we do is we energize the water. And with that water, there's some people that are experimenting. I always want to do it, but I just don't have the time to do it. This is a CO2 zinc oxide GANS. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. Okay. That's the GANS material on the bottom. And you let it settle, it settles out, and then we just use the water. We've never used the GANS material. The GANS material is an infinite source of energy, and it's gas in nanostate. That's what GANS material stands for, gas in nanostate. And each nanoparticle, each one of them, there's millions in here, each one has the potential of the sun. This is an infinite energy source. You can use this water, fill it up, use the water, fill it up, use the water for infinite amount of times. The energy does not dissipate ever, ever, just like the sun. There's nothing feeding this. There's nothing feeding this. Just, it's the universal plasma that we're tapping into. It's in its semi-matter state. So it always has access to that energy. So what we do with this is we can do anything with this water, anything. You can take it internally. You can spray it on your body. You can add it to your washing machine. So these fields will be transmitted to anything you put it on. You can water the plants, love it. Plants really love it. You can. One person was spraying all the windows in their home inside and out, and then they were using copper nano plates, 2 copper plates, about the size of your palm, your hand, nano coated. I know you guys don't understand this material. It's just a process we put copper through with caustic, and it turns black because it changes the surface into a nano state, putting the particles in a form where they're finding their position magnetically and gravitationally. And it's in nano. You can't see it with the naked eye. And these become superconductor and super insulator. So they were getting these 2 plates, putting a nano-coated copper wire between them and spreading them apart along their window in their house. And the people that have tried this, a few people, they say they don't feel the cold, even though it's cold outside, with no heat on. You guys need to understand plasma technology. People are doing all these different experiments. So there's so much you can do with the plasma technology. We haven't even scratched the surface of what's happening in nanotechnology. I've talked about the experiments that are going on in Africa now with the GANS material being injected in cancer patients. And what's happening, the cancer, for several hours, nothing happens. And then all of a sudden, this is the feedback we're getting from the experiments. All of a sudden, the cancer cells, it takes about 4 or 5 hours, all of a sudden, they're all converted, gone, completely gone. This is what's happening in plasma world, folks. That's why I put those couple of videos. You need to start playing with these materials. You don't have to believe it. Play with them. When you have these materials in the home, things change. Things become more at peace. You interact with these materials whether you're conscious of them or not, because you're working on plasmatic levels of the principles of creation of how the universe works. And this is what MasterFast is based on. And the power of MasterFast is because of the intent and emotion of the whys in the hows and of the reason it was put together. The matter states that we use are just a carrier for the thought and the emotion of what's behind it all. It might sound airy-fairy, as one person put it, because there's lack of understanding. So everybody will gain from plasma technology and from MasterFast on their level of understanding. Everybody will gain a different understanding. Nobody is right or wrong. Nobody's right or wrong. And this is the beauty. So we need to have more people working with these materials. Educating yourself on these materials, because we're doing things a little differently than most of the people that are working with plasma. We're using also the diet side of things. And I believe we have a little bit of an extra advantage when we remove the obstructions in our bodies that are in a matter state. But let me tell you something, folks. Don't believe without any doubt, don't believe that it cannot be done plasmatically. We have not gotten there yet, but it can be done plasmatically. Meaning that if you...
Hey, Gino. I have a question. So basically, you're saying don't worry about the scalar energy. Just leave it alone. Just like
they're calling it a different name, Matt, but it's you're working with plasma. Everything is a gravitational magnetic field. 99.9% of all the universe is plasma, gravitational magnetic field. It doesn't matter what you call it. We're using these terms. I'm using plasma because for us to communicate, we need an understanding, and we haven't gone to the point where we remember how to use communication without language.
I just wish you would talk about more about that. One time you said that basically that we communicate on an interactive field, or like we don't communicate with other, what do you say, whenever if we lived on another planet or something, all we do is we interact on plasmatic fields. We don't have to have food or water or sex or anything or something. Yeah, it's nothing. It's love or something. Can you please iterate on that, please?
Love is the highest field strength. That's where creation comes from. You can't have creation without love. Love is the strongest field strength, and everything lies within that of all creation. By your thought and emotion. Thought and emotion. We don't need a language. We've been downgraded by being programmed to use languages. We've been downgraded. Let's put it that way. Instead of being upgraded on a computer, we've been downgraded, if you want to look at it in those terms. So if we continue to discuss and play with these materials about plasma and so on and so forth, our remembering will come back. Will come back. And this is where you see things like the 100th monkey syndrome, if you understand that. It's where, monkeys discovered how to use a certain type of, they were washing something in the ocean to take the sand off. I believe that's what it was. And it was never seen monkeys doing this before. And these monkeys in a certain place on the planet were doing this. They were found doing this. And then all of a sudden, monkeys in other parts of the world that had never seen these monkeys started doing the same thing. That's the 100th monkey syndrome. It's tapped into the energy of that thought. That's what we're talking about. That's what Masterfast is. That's why you've seen it growing and exploding like it's unreal. It's miraculous. This is what's happening. And the more people come into it, the more stronger that strength will be, and the people will get more and more benefit from it faster and so on and so forth. It's happening. It's already happening. It's in 1 year. So we want to get into these, and we're using different languages because all the old languages, all the old terminology that we've used had a limited understanding. So we have a little more understanding, so we'll use a newer understanding terminology. That's why I'm using plasma instead of prana, this, that, and that. And maybe in those times when these terms came out, they had the understanding and it was hidden from us through enslavement or whatever. So we use plasma now because we have a little more of an understanding, and we'll put everything under that terminology of the gravitational magnetic field strength with a certain fingerprint. That's all you really need to know. It's not more difficult than that. So we tap into that by emotion and intent. And the stronger your emotion intent is, the more you have access to infinite abundance, and everything is possible. Have you ever heard of a child being trapped under a car and the mother lifts the car up? What are they doing? They're tapping into plasma through their intent and emotion. The intent and emotion is so strong, the matter does not matter. That car is going to go off their child. Doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's not there. The car's not there. They move it, and they actually do move it. This is what we're talking about, folks. This is the potential, infinite. There is no limit. Healing. You can instantly heal. You really can. We can tap into that. So, how do we train ourselves? Masterfast is a good bicycle with training wheels to go to those states, because we've been so clouded and brainwashed and programmed from what our true potential is. Jumping from here to what I've just talked about is far-fetched for all of us, even for me. I know it's possible, but truly, in our reptilian brain doesn't believe it. The subconscious, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't believe it 100%. We have a feeling. I've felt that we can live without food. I have the feeling. Gabriel's can talk to you about it too. It's there, but it's not 100% confidence yet. So we're working at it with training wheels, with Masterfast. That's what Masterfast does. It's training wheels.
Can you speak on? Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. Can you talk about the reptilian brain? Because that's what that dude Roller, whatever his name is, he's saying that he got downloads from the extraterrestrial, and he's talking about all this stuff about scalar energy and how the military is combining it with the this just goes on and on and on and on. I just want to know your input on it. So basically, I cannot take the GANs state, GANs, gas, and nano state, and put it into a pyramid. There's no way. I'm just wasting my time.
I said, use it all. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, how do I do it? How would I do it? Can you tell me, or is that like a secret?
No, Matthew, I just explained there is no right or wrong with this new revelations of this technology, which is based on creation. It's not really new. It's new for us listening to it here in this matter state, but we all know what it is on our soul level. We all come from it. We are it. We are plasma. We just don't have access to those memories for some reason. We've been hindered from it. So whatever comes to your mind, Matthew, is not wrong. Try different things. Like if you're making a pyramid of copper tubes, if it was me, give you an idea, I'd nano coat them with a caustic, inside and out. Then you can fill up the tubes with a plasma water. If you want in the center, in the king's chamber, there's a certain area of the pyramid, there's a king's chamber where it has the power, which is your free plasma. If you look at the star formation, you have 3 reactors and a 4th one on top. It's called the star formation. That's what's inside our head with all the glands, with our pituitary, our pineal gland, our thalamus and hypothalamus is a star formation. And within that is this free plasma where the soul sits right in the center of our brain. That's where the soul sits in physicality. Huh? No, it's this empty space in the center of the brain. That's the free plasma.
Thank you, Gino. That was it right there.
Yeah, so we can all access that free plasma. With that free plasma, we can travel to planet Zeus instantaneously if we have the correct intent and emotion. Bang, we're there. We can do it in our sleep. Why can't we do it when we're awake? It's because for some reason we've been cut off from access to remembering that. So by us talking about it, we're gonna slowly bring up those memories to be able to access that again. And by playing with these materials, by being around these materials, just being around these materials, it's very pleasant being around these materials. I've seen these things do magic. With just this water, folks, I've talked about this before. This is CO2 zinc oxide. When I was in Italy, I made seawater GANs, which is very simple to make if you have access to seawater. And I used the water on one of my dad's cousin and one of my children's cousin. They had diabetes, and all they did is take the water, put it in their coffee, put it in their drinks or whatever, their espressos. And they went from taking their diabetic medication every day to very rarely, almost not at all, without changing anything in their diet. Can you imagine if they changed their diet? This is what we're talking about with plasma. Plasma works on the emotion. Emotion trumps physicality. Physicality is a reflection of emotion. It's not the other way around. Our physical body is a reflection of our emotion and our intent of our soul. That's why we're manifested in this manner. It's all from the soul level. So, I'm just talking about the diabetic thing. I've seen making pain pads. I've explained that before. You get a Ziploc bag, put 2 pieces of paper towel in there or a piece of cotton cloth or something. Put it in there, you wet it, and then you take all the air out, seal it. We call that a pain pad or a health pad. And you give these to people because you can make an infinite amount of these when you have an infinite source of energy. You can make infinite amount of that water and you can make infinite amount of these pain pads or health pads. And you give them to people. They become personal once you use them. I've seen people that were in complete horrific back pains, being able to, from being hunched over, walking hunched over, to straightening them out in a few days using these pain pads. I've seen these happen with plasma.
Okay, I want that water. How can I make that water?
I have a video on how to make the CO2. It's not difficult. You need a few things and it starts happening. It's not very difficult. It's on my YouTube channel. You can make the seawater. If you have access to seawater GANs, it's a little bit of a different process. I made a video on how to make that too. Once you make it, you have a source for infinite amount of time.
What's the name of the video?
How to make seawater, ocean water GANs, I believe,
And there's another one.
and how to make CO2 zinc oxide GANs. It's on my YouTube channel. The links for it are on the pinned post or on my website to my YouTube channel. There's quite a few videos now, but they're in there somewhere. I suggest everybody play with these materials. It costs you nothing to make these materials, pennies. It's very easy. And there's other people who have made videos on how to make these. It's the Keshe SSI, Keshe Spaceship Institute. I recommend you watch the Kids Workshops, Kids Knowledge Seekers Workshops. There's, I think, 20 of them or so. And then after watching those, that'll give you a better understanding of plasma, of what I've discussed in the magnetic and gravitational field. It's like a magnet and how they flow. They'll give you a better understanding. You gotta go into these teachings with a complete open mind. If you're gonna judge them, you're not gonna learn from them. You're gonna hear things you may not like. You're gonna hear things you don't understand. Like the lymphatic is the waste, is the energy system, and the blood is the sewer system. Completely opposite of what we've been taught. You're gonna hear things like that. You're gonna hear things that you're not gonna be able to comprehend. But being exposed to these things is how Master Fast came to be and took it to a very expanded level of healing, just from a little understanding of some of these things. After you watch those, there's health workshops in the KSS, Keshe Spaceship Institute videos. Health workshops, health teachings, or I think it's called health teachings or health workshop. And there's at least 20 of those or 30. And you're going to see the science of the body functioning at a whole different level. I just told you a very little. The digestion does not digest food. There's no food that crosses the walls of our whole GI tract system. It's all plasmatic energy field interaction. That is how the body interacts. It's a vacuum system. And the same thing as when we're breathing. Oxygen doesn't cross the lung wall. There's only about 17, maybe less, 15 to 20% oxygen in our air, depending where you are max. Most of it's nitrogen. Nitrogen is in a plasmatic state, and so are the other gases. And that's how we're breathing in and we're using through ultraviolet light to have the interchanging of field interactions going on to put oxygen into the blood and anything else that we can use from it, energy into the lymph. That's where we get most of our energy from, the nitrogen in the air.
Hey, Gino, I got a question. Sorry to interrupt. Can you tell me, can you ask the Keshe Space Institute, where you do your class and stuff, can you ask him,
Dad has a grave in Shiloh. Yeah.
Somebody, one sec, somebody's got their mic open.
Cool.
Okay, go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if you could ask Keshe or whoever it is that you do your stuff with, does the science apply to the same technology, but basically the science, the science besides all, is it the same science that applies to all mankind here on this planet? Is it the same science that applies to all humanity or whatever, all the other aliens and all that? Can you
It's all throughout the universe. Yeah, it's based on its creation. So we're going to have different types of beings in all different planets and all different universes and all different galaxies. and they'll have different atmospheres, and then their makeup of their bodies may be different, so on and so forth. But the basic principles of creation is maintained throughout the universe. It's not unique anywhere, like just for Earth. It's throughout the universe, throughout perpetuity of the universe, which keeps expanding.
So it is the same. So it is the same. It's all plasma. Just like you're preaching right now.
99.9% of all the universe is made up of plasma. Basically, all of it. Pretty much all of it. So that's what we want to put. Like, you know, language is such a crappy way to communicate. You know, it's hard to express everything, but this is what we got to use for now until we remember how to do it any other way. So, let me put it this way: if you have a child and you're not getting through communicating with them, go put yourself in a room, quiet room, and communicate to the child's soul. You don't have to do it with words. Just communicate with the soul. And work out the problem communicating to the soul. I've mentioned this to other people. And if you don't believe it works, try it. Try it several times and watch what happens. That's way more powerful than you're going to ever be able to do communicating in physicality. Way more powerful. And you can do healing at these levels. You can send healing to anybody instantaneously. You know, who do we do this on? No, it was Nisha's brother got in a motorcycle accident. And he was in a coma. And I said, everybody, let's put our intent and emotion and plasma love to Nisha's brother. Next day, I think, or the day after, he got out of his coma. I have to ask her how he's doing. But, you know, you can call it a coincidence. No such thing as coincidence, folks. Coincidence, two angles that meet perfectly. That's what coincidence means. So, you know, intent and emotion is everything. You can call it an accident or whatever. That's your belief system. No such thing as accidents. No such thing. We're all here for certain reasons. And every time I look at somebody new, it's like I know them for some reason. It's a weird feeling. Everybody I'm seeing come on interacting, it's like I've known them.
He has a question, I think.
Roland, you got a question? Go ahead.
I don't know how to raise the hand, so.
You got to unmute. I'll unmute you. Go ahead, Roland.
We can't
I can't hear you, Roland. You're gonna your microphone settings are not right. Something in your microphone settings. Change microphone.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, hear you. Go ahead.
I have a couple of questions, actually.
Sure.
I'm thinking I have a very, you call it congested liver.
Okay.
And do this fast shrink these liver stones that I have? Or
Who told you have a congested liver, first of all?
I feel it.
You feel you got pain in your liver?
Yeah.
What's your diet been like your whole life?
Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about that.
Okay. Sad diet, where are you from?
I'm Lebanese, and we have a lot of sugar, and my family have a lot of sugar in the diet, and a lot of meat.
Processed sugar, meat.
We eat like 3 times more than
now, are you still eating like that?
No, last 3 years I cleaned up my diet, and I lost 30 kilos. So,
So what are you eating now? Last 3 years?
basically fruits and vegetables. That's it.
Okay. Now, have you done any fasting?
I've done about this year. I've done 100 days, maybe. Different type of everything. Water fast.
Dry fasting?
Some couple of days only.
Okay.
I can do like I did 24 hours, maybe twice, 3 times, or something like that.
Have you ever done a liver flush?
I've done about 8 liver flushes.
Wow. And did you get out the stones?
I got out a lot of parasites in those and stones, but I feel like they are stuck in. There's an inner tree in the liver tree. So in the intrahepatic ducts, there are stones, they are stuck, then they won't go out. So even though I cleaned up my diet and tried to flush them out, they won't come out. And I just feel pain when I do the flush.
I wouldn't do any more liver flushes. I was asking because they just stress the liver out big time. What are you doing the master fast now?
I'm getting this stuff, and I want to start maybe in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, what we've seen on master fast, Roland, is the liver flushes are obsolete. Your liver and every single cell from head to toe will purge on master fast. How long is it going to take? I don't have an answer for you. Age, what you've eaten in the past, your genetics, your intent and emotion will all play a factor in that. But if you want to heal and you want to clean up, this is the best road we found. There's nothing that even comes close. We've had a lot of people purge liver stones on this cleanse, a lot. And that's why we don't need to go back to stressing the liver ridiculously with all that oil. Oil's not a food.
Even have you seen because I feel I have gallbladder stones, and if I go, I didn't go, but if I go, I think they are pretty big. They could be like everything from 2 centimeters to 3 centimeters or something like that. But have you seen somebody pull out that from the gallbladder?
Of course, liver, gallbladder, they're connected. The stones are going to, if they come out of the liver, they're going to come out of the gallbladder. Gallbladder is small. They got the ducts has got to go through the gallbladder, the bile. So the thing that made me decide that I was done with liver flushes is when I did my liver flush on my master fast in 2015. I used to do a liver flush once a year, and the first couple times I got tons of stones, and then after going raw, mostly raw for over 9 years, I used to do them still every year. I could get very few stones. When I did my liver flush on the master fast, it was in the middle of the master fast. I did the liver flush. It was one of the worst things experienced. It took me over a week to recover. And I didn't get any stones. None. Zero. Master fast will allow your liver to clean better than anything else out there. How long is it going to take? A lot of factors I've discussed. Go for 108 days. If you feel pain on your liver, go for 108 days. It's a good start. Good start, folks. That's all it is. Good start.
If I think back, like 20 years, I'm 40 today. If I think back 20 years, I remember that when I I wasn't involved in a lot of training, and I remember that I always had some pain in my right chest, and I don't know if it's. I think that I was do you say,
When
congested.
your chest,
No, the liver was congested.
the liver, you know where the liver is, right? If you go on the right side, just below the ribs.
Here.
Put your fingers in there. Do you feel pain?
I
Right
feel
under the ribs.
I feel some pain. Yeah.
Under the ribs. Push in with your fingers.
Yeah. I feel pain.
Right?
Yeah. I have some pain there, and
Okay.
I have pain if I push.
Yeah, you need to clean out. You didn't clean up. You didn't clean enough. Raw juices, we're not going to get you to what we're doing. I don't care how many raw juice fasts. I've done millions of raw juice fasts. They got no comparison. This is just night and day.
And
waste of time.
about the fast, when you do the lemon and grapefruit enema, how much do you use?
The grapes, not grapefruit. You can use the pure juice if you want, or you can dilute it, half and half, or you can put just a small amount. It's up to you.
But how much do you recommend using?
Half. Let's dilute by half.
What do you mean? How much to implant? Some people can hold a liter. Some people can hold up to 2 liters. The more you cleanse, the more you should be able to hold. Because when the colon is all plugged up, it's impacted with garbage and it can't expand properly. So as it cleans, you'll be able to hold much more water. But the best thing to do if you're going to do an implant with juice or with grass or with teas, do one with water and baking soda first, at least 1 or 2, and then do the third one with the grape juice. If you want to do pure grape juices with lemon, that's fine. If you want to use the tea, if you want to dilute it, it's up to you. Whatever you want. You can use it pure. It doesn't have to be diluted. If you can drink something, you can put it inside of your enema. No fear. Don't have to be anal about enemas. Whatever you drink, you can put it in an enema.
Yeah, I have no choice. I have to be fearless. So.
And some things work better that way, especially people who have problems holding down things in their stomach. We can feed them through their colon, believe it or not. We can feed them that way. To try the grape lemon is one of the best enemas I found. The grasses are powerful and the teas are powerful, and the baking soda is a lifesaver when you got a lot of acid. You have diarrhea and stuff. So these are a lot of tools that we have to use, and we can use anything to help us during these fasts. You know, people that are not using them, I feel sorry for them. They're doing it through ignorance. People going through fasts, not doing enemas, is crazy. It's all that extra suffering for no reason. Ridiculous old nature, stuck in nature thinking. We are so far away from nature. Our body's condition is so far away with nature. We can't solve our body problems, our illnesses with nature anymore, folks. And you're seeing that. You're seeing that. That master fast has very little to do with nature. We're using some of the things, but we're changing them. We're bringing them to higher orders. So just continue. Get on it. Focus, write down your goals, and just keep going. Get 108 days. Go longer if you can. Just focus. Your body will clean itself. Once it's reached the level of cleanliness is when the body starts healing, not before. You're going to start seeing improvements everywhere as you go along, but once you can remove a lot of that plaque, the healing starts happening big time and fast, especially when you start going into the dry fast. If you've never done a lot of dry fasting, you don't push in the master fast when you're doing 108 days. After you break your 108 days, you feed, build for at least 1 or 2 months minimum. Then you start pushing dry fasting when you're eating. You get more confidence and you'll be able to push more. You might want to go into a cascade or something. So this is the way we do it. Go ahead.
If you're going to do longer than 108 days, how much do you think is a good day to...
There's no limit. Carl and his brother did 180 days. Martin did 240 or 50 days straight, and he took a small break of smoothies, and he's back on.
Okay. I know there's no limit, but
There's no limit. You can live on Master Fast, folks.
Because you say basically there is there's a window between 63 and 90 days that you should at least land on, and
because we want to remove a large amount of the obstructions of the GI tract. 108 days will not totally clean it, but 40 days, you're not going to do a very good job. You're going to get a lot of it out, but not a very good job. You're going to get the loose stuff off. As you know, there's layers of an onion. The first layers come off easy, first 40 days. Then you start going into deeper layers from 40 days to 60, 70 days. And then, you know, you get into the 90, you go into deeper layers and so on and so forth until you hit the center where there's nothing and you hit the emotion and you've solved your problem. How long does that take? Everybody's different. Could be years. And you got to continue as a lifestyle. You can't just think that you're going to do one long one. Even if you do a year straight, for example, on a Master Fast, you're going to be solving a lot of issues. Will you solve them all? I don't know. Nobody's hit a year yet. Let's see when Martin hits a year. Because we don't know what the limit is. Because I was explaining before, just think about a gas pedal. You know, on your car, you have a limit when it hits the floor of the car. There's a limit. When you do juice fasting, you hit the floor. There's that limit of what you're going to accomplish. On Master Fast, remove the floor. There's no limit. You can keep pushing the gas pedal. Keep pushing it. We have not found the plateau on Master Fast, folks. That's the reality. And that's the beauty. So how far do you want to take it? Show us what you're made of. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. The only thing that's going to hold anybody back is their emotion. And because number one, the weight loss for some people, it really affects their emotion, especially being around other people. And if you can't handle that, you're going to break your fast eventually because it's going to tear you apart. But if you can handle that and you can continue, what will happen will amaze you. You're going to reach a point where you don't lose any more weight and you're going to start putting weight on the Master Fast, folks. Believe it or not. Martin has achieved that. He's not losing any more weight. You know, and he's not skin and bones. He's thinner than he's always been, but he's not skin and bones. He's not concentration camp. Some of us have gone to concentration camp, literally skin and bones, and they've gained their weight back after a couple of months or longer. Michelle's took a bit longer. Evo, he went to skin and bones. I don't know if he's on. He's put weight back on. I have to talk. Yeah, after eating. Is he on? He's not on. You know, we don't know what the limits are. This is so new, basically. It's only a couple of years ago where I started sharing it online. Go ahead.
Yes, I see some people have coconut water. Are you allowed to use that when you're doing the fast?
We have coconut water as an option for when you break your dry fast. And because when you're doing dry fast on Master Fast, you're digging deep, folks. You're digging deep. Ask people who are doing it. You're digging really deep. So coconut water is more of a food. It comes from a seed that grows into a big tree. Coconut is a seed. It's got a lot of energy in there. Most coconuts can grow trees, no problem, right on the sea, on the bed of the sea, taking in straight ocean water. That's the power of coconut. So that water can help bring a boost back after you do a longer dry fast. You know, not the week ones or the month ones, not the daily ones. So it's an option to use. You don't have to use it. The more you use coconut water, the more you'll take away from digging deeply into the cell structures of our body because it's more of a food. There's a lot of people who've done coconut water fasts for long times. Will you get benefits? Of course you will. But you're not going to get the benefits that you're seeing that people are getting on master fast. It's not happening because it hasn't happened. People have been doing coconut water fast for who knows how long. Because it's more of a food. Master fast, not only is a food, but it's also a powerful cleanser. And that's the beauty of it, with no limits. We found no limits. So you have the beauty of both. It's feeding and clean at the same time. That's why you have energy and it's cleaning. Some people, it's overwhelming, the cleaning. It's only because they're so toxic. So we have to find that delicate balance of what we can do. But coconut water, limit its use. If you feel you need to add it more, it's okay. If somebody's overwhelmed with healing reactions, I'll ask them to go on the green juices to step them back and cool off so they don't break the whole fast with food. Green juices will cool you down, break down. Another question. Go ahead.
Yeah, Gino, I got a question. Is there any benefit in charging the grape juice for just charging the grape juice for your own benefit, like with your own energy with plasma? Is there any way you could actually take the GANs and charge the grape juice?
Of course you can.
All right.
This bottle here, here's your bottle of GANs. Here's your bottle of grape juice. Put it right beside there. It's charged. That simple. Leave it there as long as you want. It'll energize it. Somebody has their hand. Cynthia? You have to unmute. I'll unmute you. Go ahead. Cynthia, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, there. Okay, I'm unmuted now.
Now.
Hi, Gio. My mom is having a little bit of issues. She feels grape juice is too sweet. Is there something you can do to make not so sweet?
Add a little more lemon.
Okay. So I used to have her do blends with about 16 ounce. No, I was doing 1 16 ounce juice, and then doing a lemon and an orange because I thought a little bit or something, but it still seems like today she just feels like her stomach is easy. She feels kind of like she wants to throw. She only has 16 ounces of juice. I let her.
Yeah, it's you're cutting in and out, Cynthia. It's very hard to understand, but what I'm getting is you put lemon and the orange, and she's having problems. It's disturbing her stomach, and it wants her to throw up. This is a very toxic body, and people that go through that they can't handle it because it's too sweet. It's a very toxic body. So what we suggest: go on green juices for a week or two, cool them off, and then go back to the juice. And then they like the juice again. It's pulling so much toxins they can't handle it, and it's become, in their mind, it's too sweet or whatever excuse they have. It's just the body's saying, whoa, it's a little overwhelming. So it's putting a thought in the mind, it's too sweet. It's not too sweet because once they've removed some of these toxins, they can drink it again and it's not too sweet. So in the meantime, either add more lemon. You don't want to go too crazy with lemons. Not more than 3 lemons per liter or orange or whatever. Otherwise, you're taking away from the grape because we're only using the lemons to activate. But just have her go back on green juices for a week or two. Green juices only, nothing else. Cool off all that acid. And then go back on the juice. At least you're not breaking the fast. Is she fasting or is she on the hybrid? Cynthia, she's still there? We lost her.
I got muted again. She has had a few berries here and there. She because she just feels like she needs to eat something sometimes. So most days she's juicing, but sometimes she does hybrid because she's older.
Okay. So she's done the hybrid. Okay, yeah. Well, that's very toxic if she's eating and she's feeling that. So you're gonna have to do lots of enemas and stuff and get her on some green juices for a bit. Slow go, slow it down. Slow it down. If it's too overwhelming. I've had people that wanted to throw up. There was quite a few people went through that. And once they started, the bowels started clearing, they were able to drink the juice again, no problem.
Yeah, she's doing enemas every day. And I do, I started out with the baking soda. Recently started putting a little bit of apple cider vinegar in there. But we'll just go back to baking soda enemas. Use for an enema. That'd be too toxic.
I missed that. You cut out.
I think the juice and the enema would be.
You mean doing the enemas with the grape juice and the lemon? Sure, you can.
Yeah. Would that be too toxic?
No, try it.
Somebody suggested adding tart cherry juice to the Concord grape juice. That would be to make it less sweet. Cranberry is very, very bitter and astringent. And if you add it to the grape juice as well, it will make it so much less sweet. It's going to be very tart. If you add cranberry juice, I've tried it. It's amazing. It's really, really, it pulls. And it's not very sweet. So if you want to add some cranberry as well.
Okay. Yeah, she started out on juices only, and then she started having the issue. That's when I started kind of doing hybrid with a little bit of fruit to see if that would help. But it's still the juices are just, she said she feels like she's drinking Coca-Cola.
Yeah, add cranberry. Try the cranberry.
There's many things you can do. We give you all those options. So just ease up. She's got to ease off. She's very toxic. She comes from a sad diet where, like most of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is the prices we paid for eating all that weight for all these years. It's just slow, steady. Slow it down. Okay. Try the different options. You should be able to do it. The hybrid, 1 meal a day. On the hybrid, we're getting some pretty good results on it. Especially with children. Children are amazing. But you're only going to go so far with hybrid. Maybe she can try for a week without any food.
Mm-hmm.
She can clear more waste out of the body. Because when you're eating, it's very difficult to get the depth into the real toxic stuff that's stuck in our bodies. But these are all the different options. Like if she's going to be doing the green juices, she shouldn't be eating.
Right.
Otherwise, it's you're going to be using it more as a food than a cleanser. The greens do have their limits anyway, but they're great for cooling things off. Really great for cooling off.
Okay. Thank you.
Somebody else has a question?
Thank you, Cynthia.
Go ahead.
Hey, Gina. You straight? All right. I have a question. I know, how would you do the pyramid thing if you was going to do gas and nanostate with the pyramid? Would you soak the PVC in there, or what? I know all your channel is about is healing, and you're trying to help these people heal without eating food. But I want to know, how would you do that? If you could just let me know. So yeah, I mean, if you don't want to let me know, that's cool. But yeah, man. I mean, this dude's talking about just making PVC and
What's PVC?
PVC, the stuff they make the pipes with.
Oh,
and he
plastic
said,
pipes? Yeah, you can use plastic pipes. Sure, nanocoat them. You get some.
Yeah.
get the caustic and spray all the plastic with the cold caustic, and it'll put a nano coating on it. Don't touch it with your hands. It's got to stay on there and let it do its work, and then it becomes nano coated. You can nano coat anything.
So you really think that maybe I am onto something with this? Because I just thought of it.
There's no right or wrong. People are doing all kinds of different experiments with these materials.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I just wanted your expertise on it. That's it. All right. I'm out.
Roland, you had a question?
Yes. If you do a couple of master fast and you peel your onion, like you said, and will you like, I crave a lot of foods. Will your cravings like go to raw foods instead, or will they?
Yeah, the whole thing. A lot of people, they get on master fast and they've been raw for a while, and they start craving cooked food. Why that happens? Mystery, no mystery. It's because they never went to the depths to clean out all the food that they've eaten their whole lives, because they've never fasted. I don't care how much raw fruit or whatever they eat. So that once you start disturbing that, you start getting those cravings. And the other way is through parasites. So, once you start cleaning up, these cravings will come to the surface to be healed. When will they go away? The best is to focus on keeping only raw foods in your house and only eating raw foods, especially after you break into long fast, and continue mainly with fruits and some salads. And if you stay on that, you're gonna be much better off than if you indulge in cooked foods. Once you start going into cooked foods, you're gonna want to eat more cooked foods and more cooked foods and more cooked foods, because they're so addictive. We're addicted to their energy. Even though they cause obstructions, they are easy for us to process when they're cooked. And they're very addictive, very addictive. So just continue and focus and stay on raw foods. That's going to be the key. And the more you cleanse, the more you stay on raw, the more you cleanse, the more you're not going to think about cooked food. That's the way, when I did raw food for over 9 years, nothing would turn me, no matter who, what, where, when, why. I lived on my own. It was simple. I didn't have to worry about anything. Just focus on what you have to do. Fill the house up with all the best stuff.
Keep dry fasting.
Keep dry fasting. I was growing a lot of sprouts back then. I was hardly buying any greens. Everything grown with ocean water. Life's good.
When you dry fast, the last thing that will come to your mind is cooked food. So keeping dry fasting part of your life will really help you.
The dry fast or the recess. Even after you start eating, you need to maintain the dry fasting schedule. Always. That's your reset. Because even when we go back to eating, especially when you break fast, we intend to overeat and all these things. And that's going to be your reset every day, every week, every month, every season change. You always have a reset. And we should be doing after one long master fast, at least a couple a year, 40 days minimum after you've done a long one, to reset twice a year minimum. Spring and fall is a great time. You may want to do winter and summer. I don't know, whatever. Get it done. Make it part of your life. Don't look back. The more you clean, you'll notice your food consumptions get less and less and less. It just happens. You don't need as much food because all the glands are working properly. You're getting the proper field interactions with the plasma and the nitrogen in the air. If you train yourself with proper breathing, you're going to get a lot more energy. You won't need food. The food is only going to be there to settle emotions that you have not balanced out. The emotions they're going to be the problem for people. That's what's giving you the cravings, along with the parasites and what I've just talked about when you're starting to cleanse in the physical levels of foods that are still in there that have not been cleansed out. Old foods that you grew up with.
When you're doing the fast, when you're doing the master fast, you will not be hungry And this will really, like, you will not forget this even when you start eating. You will know that you do not need food to feed you. You don't need physical food to feed you, really. You will start understanding that your body is fine when it's on, but it's all emotions. So you will understand this, especially if you do 108 days. If you go that far, you will know that your body does not need food. And if it does, maybe a little bit, but we eat way more than we need.
Well, we got, what do we got here? We got 28 people. Good turnout tonight. There's only, I think, 50 allowed on Zoom. Somebody else got their hand up. Noni, go ahead. I'll unmute you. Go ahead, Noni. We can't hear you. Noni Daniels, you have to change your settings of your mic. We can't hear you. She isn't muted. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, you held up a baggie with charcoal in it. And so I have two questions. The first question is, what exactly is charcoal? I thought that it might, that, you know, like the black crunchy stuff that you can get out of your fireplace was it. And so I put that in a baggie, and then I thought, well, this isn't coal. So is charcoal actually coal? The second question is, what do you do with it?
What do you do with charcoal?
You held up a baggie of charcoal.
Yeah, that was a piece of charcoal, a piece of branch off of a tree of charcoal, hardwood. And what I used it for, I have that near my Wi-Fi to absorb all the microwave fields from the Wi-Fi. Charcoal is plasma. It's brought to a higher order. Once you burn something, you put it back into its higher order. You have a strong gravitational magnetic field. I've talked about this before. Farmers used to burn their fields in the fall to re-energize the land, not to fertilize it. It's energy. They're still doing it in some places. In Italy, when I was there, they're doing it. They're burning their fields. They're still using that technology. Charcoal is amazing what you can do. We use the burnt stick for the same reason. Physically massaging, plasmatically, we're getting the gravitational magnetic field, always looking to find balance. That's what plasma is. Always looking to find balance. So when you put a piece of charcoal near your Wi-Fi or whatever, it's absorbing those fields that are out of balance because they're not natural. So the charcoal will absorb those fields, and when we take it internally, same thing. It's given us that plasmatic field interaction on the plasmatic level to find balance in all the toxins and chemicals. It's not only absorbing physically like they tell us. That's not true. I got one of those mashwak things stuck in my throat. These are great for your teeth. So yeah, that's what we use charcoal. What other uses you can do with charcoal? You can use it in clay mask, mix it in clay. You can put it on your head to absorb clay, and at the same time you're getting a plasmatic field looking for balance. Toothpaste. What else? Had something else in mind? Any other type of radiation things. You can, the charcoal that you burn from wood, charcoal is charcoal. Once it gets to the charcoal state, it's in carbon state. It's all the same. When people, I see them looking, asking questions, is this activated charcoal okay? Is it better than the coconut one, better than this? All the same, folks. Buy the cheapest one. As long as the activated is put through a certain process to open it up more. That's all. It's all the same, all good. Don't use the mind. It's all marketing scams. Buy the cheapest ones, food grade, activated charcoal. It'll all do the same job. Oh, when you poison, when you go to the hospital, any type of poison, they're going to give you activated charcoal. And you keep taking it until it absorbs all the poison plasmatically, not physically.
For like heavy metals.
It does so much. It's another crucial part of Masterfast in the pudding. Who was it? Phyllis sent me a message, said we should change the name of the pudding to plasma pudding. I think I like that. I think we're going to change it to plasma pudding instead of psyllium pudding. Plasma pudding. What does everybody think? We had a what's it called? A poll to make the name, but nobody came up with plasma pudding. Plasma pudding sounds cool. So we're at the 2-hour mark. Unless somebody has a quick question, I like to keep them at 2 hours. Otherwise, it's going to be too long if people want to rewatch the videos. If anybody has a quick question, or we'll call it a night. Great to have everybody back. I want to see more participation, more sharing of info. I can't keep talking all the time. I don't have the gift of the gab like some of you. I'm going to run out of things to say. I got to repeat things. But it's all good, man. We're all learning so much from everybody doing this cleanse. It's amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Where are we going to be in another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Hopefully we'll still be around. As Kesh is predicting that over the next few weeks, we're going to have some pretty severe earth shifts. Hopefully he's wrong. Hopefully he's wrong, but he's warned us again. It's not going to be nice what happens. Go ahead, Roland.
Yes, I have a problem with stomach acids, even with the raw foods. So, do you think it will balance that out with the fast? Or
of course, you're going to remove the acids. Some people have the acid reflux with the juice. It's a very toxic acidic state. If that happens, you put a little bit of baking soda in a small amount of juice. Put like half a teaspoon. Drink that first, and then sip the juice. See if that helps. You may have to do that for a few days, a week, or something until the stomach settles. And once that acid moves out, you should be able to do without any baking soda. We only use the baking soda as a temporary aid. We don't want to use it all the time. We use it in the dry fasting before we start and to break the fast. I really don't want to go more than that unless you need it. Then we'll use it temporary and then just use it for the dry fast to cool us off. Keep the kidneys cool down from all that acid they've handled through the dry fasting because the kidneys are very delicate. They do a lot of work when you're fasting. And the issue with drinking too many fluids, people think they need to drink a certain amount. No. Never force yourself. Put too much stress on your kidneys. Drink just enough you need, not more. Don't force. Some days you're going to want to drink more. It's fine. That's okay. Don't force. If your body wants it, it's okay. If you've worked your way up to a 16, 18-hour dry fast window every day, and then today comes along and your body's craving more liquid, drink more. Drink more. Don't worry about it. We can't rush this thing. Do not, kill yourself trying to stick to a certain amount of hours. It's gonna be changing, from day to day, from week to week. It's gonna change. It's not a big deal. Just think about how long it took you to destroy yourself. A few extra years is no big deal. It's you're gonna feel better and better and better as time goes on, as the weeks go on. We're getting people completely changing everything, the way they feel, think, and everything in 100 days or less. So everything's possible. Just take it one day at a time. It'll pass. If you need to, you fall back on green juices. If it gets too much acid that you can't handle, just go back to green juices for a week or two. All right, folks.
Thank you, Gino.
Thank you.
We'll call it a night, and
Thank you,
It's been
guys.
great. We'll call it a night, and I'll see you next week if it's supposed to be,
Have a good night, good day.
wherever you are. So long, guys.
Bye.